Okay. Well, I have
So if the election is rigged, why even bother voting? Why even bother voting? Why even bother?
Because of the early voting.
That's it.
That's how they know. How many more votes? They need to stop in the day of.
No early voting.
No early and no mail-in.
You get manipulated elections.
Day of. That's the way the Constitution wrote it up.
They change the rules in the middle of the
Yeah,
game.
come on.
Everywhere in the country. Give it to them.
Sure, I came out to support the community. I was born and raised here. I believe what they're doing is a disgrace. I think the district needs to stick together. The upzoning should not happen. They need to leave the zoning alone in this area. I see people on food lines, elderly, senior citizens on food lines. We can't handle what's going on now, and they want to bring more people into this area. They want to bring more people, and honestly, affordable housing, I don't believe in that, what they're saying. Okay, this is all a power play on their hands, and it needs to stop. And you need representatives like AOC who should be pulling in Marjorie Velazquez and telling her to do what's right by the district. But AOC doesn't even want to do what's right by the district. We are the forgotten district, and that's why I'm taking on AOC in November to vote on November 8th to vote all of this out. Our country is going too far left. We're losing districts, we're losing our communities. It's not right, we're losing our freedoms, we're losing everything under this administration, under AOC, and the people like Marjorie who lie right to our faces.
What do you think should be done to make housing more affordable for New Yorkers?
Housing more affordable to New Yorkers? Well, right now, with what went on with the pandemic, with everybody's businesses closing down, people can't even survive with inflation, let alone the housing situation. So right now we have to get inflation under control, which will never get under control under this administration. We need to cut the regulation, cut the red tape, because Biden and his administration just keep adding on more regulations and more red tape to everything, and it's a disgrace.
Thank you.
I pull this gun. I pull this gun, and now Deptford stays alive.
Trying to fight this thing. There's got to be somebody else's fight. Somebody else's fight. And then all of a sudden they show up and the buildings show up and they say, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? She said right to my face, I will do whatever the community wants me to do. I will do whatever the community wants me to do. The whole meeting was there. She said, I will do whatever sincerity. That was the best. She was sincere. I will go.
I want to comment to Jimmy Vacca directly. I want Jimmy Vacca to hear this, because at St. Benedict's, Jimmy Vacca came to the hearing and said, shame on the city for doing this to us. Shame on the city for trying to upzone us. I want to know what Jimmy Vacca's opinion is on what Marjorie just did to us, and I'd like to know if Jimmy Vacca is going to come out publicly and say shame on Marjorie. So please, Jimmy, do the right thing. You admitted in St. Benedict's this was not what's right for our community. Come out and tell Marjorie what she did was wrong and that she should support us. Change her vote to a no and support us. You said you support us, then prove it. Otherwise, you're just as guilty as her. I'm sorry.
For people who are just picking this up and don't understand what this is all about, what happened, can you explain what Marjorie did that you're referring to?
Yeah, so since last year when this originally came out, Marjorie said she was with the community, she wasn't in favor of the upzoning, and for the last 12 months, that's all she kept saying. Everywhere she went, she was indicating whether or not there was conditions behind it or not. She kept on saying she was against it. She was against it in its current form. She was against it because it didn't have things. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, without communicating with the community, without reaching out to the homeowners or to the business owners, without coming out to her constituents, all of a sudden, she says in front of city council that deference is not dead, and that if you support me, support my community, say yes to this vote of the upzoning. And deference was never even attempted to be invoked, so she can't say deference is not dead because she didn't ask for deference. Had she said to her colleagues, vote with me and vote no against the upzoning, then she would have truly tested deference. And she would have said to the colleagues, vote no to the upzoning, vote with me and vote with my community. But instead, she flipped the script and she went from a no to a yes in a heartbeat, and she abandoned and betrayed our entire community. The one person this community had that could have stopped it, she abandoned us. Now she's going to ask for our support when she gets reelected. She's crazy if she thinks people are going to support her and endorse her and vote for her, because what she just did is ruin the future of this community. Now developers are going to have a field day. She's opened the floodgates. She's going to allow more and more developers to come in and build until the community is so saturated. You know, we already have a horrible problem with our infrastructure, our flooding. Last year during Ida, I had 2 feet of water in my basement. We have crowded schools. We have a police department that's overburdened. We only have 2 firehouses in the community, and only one of them has a ladder. You know, she chose the side of the mayor. She chose the side of the unions instead of choosing the side of the people of her district. We are the ones she represents. We are the ones she's supposed to be supporting, not the special interests, not who makes donations to her in big quantities. You know, she abandoned the community that supports her, and now she's going to get what she deserves if we don't support her in return. You know, she can't ask for a vote from somebody who she abandoned, and that's what it comes down to. And I bring it back to Jimmy Vacca. Jimmy Vacca brought her out and took her all around the community and said, vote for Marjorie. She's my candidate. I support her. But on day one, Jimmy Vacca said, shame on the city and anybody who tries to upzone us. Well, now I want to hear Jimmy Vacca say, shame on Marjorie Velazquez for voting against the community. And shame on Marjorie Velazquez for voting yes to the upzoning. Jimmy, you have to come out and say it. That's what you have to do the right thing. Thank you.
Thanks for talking with me.
Amy, how are you?
Let's walk over here.
I was always nervous about Councilmember Marjorie Velazquez when it came to the situation.
Yeah.
But what I expected was perhaps incompetence, laziness. I never expected outright treason. And that's the only thing this could be classified as.
She reversed her position completely.
At the very last minute.
Yeah.
Outright treason. Lied to the entire community. And that's all I have to say.
Do you want to talk about what's going to happen next? George was saying that there's going to be an effort
We're
sue.
going to try to appeal it pursuant to Article 78. We have an attorney. We have a couple of other things we're also working on that I really don't want to go into detail at this time. Then hopefully we can reverse this thing. Hopefully we can make it go away. I don't believe that these people actually intend to develop it. They'll go through the motions, perhaps, for a year or so. They're going to flip these properties. We don't know what's going to go on. There was a recent article in this isn't me anymore, posting on Facebook, in the Daily News, outlining the legal and financial difficulties. One of the participants in this can't even pay their own property taxes. They're behind about $120,000. I can't see, especially with 421A being eliminated, any way they can raise the $100 to $200 million that will be needed to complete this project. I can't see that happening, either through debt or equity.
Why continue to fight it? Why not, if you think that it won't be successful, why not just let it fail on its own?
I said they won't be successful in developing. That doesn't mean they won't be successful in flipping it to another developer. A developer who actually has the capability of putting up an 8-story building and putting God knows what there. Okay? Number one. Number two, this opens the door to additional overdevelopment. 34 parcels were rezoned in this particular application. Not just the 4 sites. These weren't spot rezoned. 34 parcels. That entire stretch. Now, one of the community board members, the head of the Housing and Zoning Committee, Lou Popovich, owns property there. And he even said at the meeting in St. Benedict's, I think you were there, he said, if you put up an 8-story building, what is there to prevent me from putting up an 8-story building? And if you remember, Jacqueline Scarinci, the attorney from Ackerman LLP, had no answer to that. There's nothing preventing it. Now, once they upzone Bruckner Boulevard, next will be Tremont Avenue, Crosby Avenue. It spreads.
So you're expecting, if this development goes up, you're expecting widespread high-density development to come into this area.
I'm expecting it to come, yes, over the course of time.
Right. How do you think that? So the people who are on the opposing side, they're saying that this is for affordable housing. That there's a crisis
let's take a look at
housing costs in New York. How do you think that should be handled? What do you think is a better way to handle bringing down the cost of housing for New Yorkers and making housing more accessible?
But they're not bringing down the cost of
everyone?
housing now. If you take a look at many of these affordable units, they're not actually affordable. I can only speak for the area I live in. I mean, I can't solve the problems of all of New York City. If I could, I'd run for office, and believe me, I'm the last guy you want in public office. But the MIH units, those are the mandatory inclusionary housing units that are included in this particular proposal, and any proposal that requires a rezone, okay? They are pegged to area median income. What does that mean? That means if you can't afford to live here now, you probably can't afford into that small portion of units that are mandatory inclusionary housing. They're offering, at the last subcommittee meeting, they said they're going to be offering studios at $1,800. This area has 1 bedrooms going for $1,500. Excuse me. So how are they materially bringing down the cost of housing? They're not. What you have are some politically connected groups that would like to put all zoning decisions in the hands of developers. And that's what we're seeing. Take a look at some of the buildings they built elsewhere in the Bronx that were also touted as affordable housing. $5,000 1 bedrooms. I mean, I don't have the data in front of me, but you can look it up yourself. It's a scam.
Do you think that the activists and the political activists who are talking about affordable housing are basically fronting for developers?
Well, the groups they belong to are. I mean, take a look at Open New York. Who founded Open New York? Ben Typhon. Who is Ben Typhon? Ben Typhon is part of a family that has a $120 million real estate portfolio. How much of that is affordable housing? Why do they back every single development? You mean to tell me every single development is a positive? I mean, come on. Now, the people that belong to this organization may have pure intentions, but the organization itself, basically, they read like a revenue wish list. Real Estate Board of New York. Take away any limitations, whatsoever on any developer, no matter what he wants to do. Take a look at our situation here. These people have no track record, no capital, and we have the mayor of New York that didn't get involved in 145 in Harlem, which was a way bigger development than this and would have offered way more affordable units, personally getting involved in this. No one asking, do they even have the means of executing? That stuff that showed up in the Daily News last week about their legal and financial problems, this community knew about this for a year. It's only showing up in the mainstream press now.
What are your thoughts about? So yeah, this has been going on. This dispute has been going on for about a year. What is it? A little longer?
A little bit longer, yeah.
A little bit longer than a year.
I'm old. I forget things. I'm 60.
What do you think about the press coverage over that period of time?
Oh, the press coverage was completely biased on one side. Completely. And it's been ramped up in the last couple of months or so. And that was one of the problems I had with our councilman, Adolfo Carrion Jr., who was appointed by Eric Adams, put an editorial about how wonderful this is. Where were our council members' editorial about the negatives of this particular development? Nowhere. That's why I said, I expected incompetence, I expected indifference, I never expected treason.
And what about from journalists?
Journalists, I mean, somewhat one-sided. I don't know what their motivations are. I don't know if this just was too small to really look into it, so they just worked off, whatever was given to them by Marino PR. You gotta remember, they have a PR firm, and that's a PR firm's job, to get positive press put into the papers. And they really earned their money in the last couple of months or so.
All right. Is there anything else that you wanted to say to people in the community about this?
Well, we're not done yet. It's not over till the final bell rings. Just like a Rocky movie, And that's it. I got nothing else to say.
All right, thanks for talking
Thank
with
you
me.
so much. And thank you for being so unbiased and impartial.
That's what NYC for yourself is all about.
Okay, thank you. All right, take care.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I spoke about that. I have to